Hey guys, Huzzy bringing you another video. Now welcome to another patch note video. So yes, today you are officially getting 3 videos, which is something that I've not done. I don't know if I've ever done, to be honest, but obviously this morning I launched the Renata video, and if you're wondering why was that released at 9 AM UK time, that wasn't great if you're an American, and it was like 3 AM. That was just the embargo time that Riot gave us, so obviously, if I wanted the video to do well, I was going to launch it as soon as I could. The weird thing is it's actually not... The video is doing good, but it's actually not performing as well as other new champion videos normally do. And I think it literally is because I launched a video at 9 AM. And maybe it would have been worth to hold it until the afternoon. I don't know. But anyway, then obviously you got the gameplay video, or the Mal's game. That was a good game. And now you're doing this. Oh, now I'm doing this. So I'll be recording this and doing all of it, uploading it as today's second video. So we're all prepared for what's to come in the changes. I don't think it's a big patch here or there, but we'll see. But the question of the day for this video straight away is, how is Season 12 going for you so far? We're now in patch 12.3 already. Obviously, the season started in 12.1, so we're 2 patches down the line. How is it going for you? How's your ranked journey? Are you not starting ranked? Are you just chilling? Like, let me know. I'll be interested. So, let's get into it. So, this is the overview. So, we're getting a bunch of nerfs to Akshan, Amumu, Caitlyn, Corki, LeBlanc, Senna, Twisted Fate, Weird, and Zeri. Obviously, with the color key, because I was going to say, where the hell have I seen a Twisted Fate? That, again, I'm colorblind, but the colors are different enough so I can tell. That Twisted Fate is a pro nerf. So, again, I'm not watching a lot of pro play, but there you go. Weirdly, though, I don't know if they've got it wrong. They're saying they're nerfing Senna for mid lane, right? These are the positions that they're nerfing them. So it's a top lane Akshan nerf, jungle, bot, mid Corki, mid LeBlanc, mid Senna. I think that's a mistake. And we're also getting buffs to Lilia and Quinn, of all champions. We're getting new skins, Crystal Rose and Withered Rose. A champion adjustment to 3 champions. The one I'm interested in is the Ahri one, because I used to play that champion quite a bit. We're getting system changes to the fighter items. I'm not going to cover that in crazy detail, because I actually made a specific video about that a couple days ago. And we're also getting a change to Turbo Chemtank, which I presume is an answer to, like, Akali buying it, which is hilarious. So yeah, new skins available February 10th, so actually over a week from now. So first change is Ahri, so champion refreshed, base stats and all skills have been updated. So I'm pretty excited with this. I will definitely try it in potentially the next stream. I will also be playing on the PBE on the next stream too, for obviously Renata. So Ahri's unique identity as a high mobile mage assassin has eroded over the years. Instead of being a flashy terror dashing across a team fight, she's limited to a single attempt at an exciting play with her ultimate, then finishing with her E from safety for the rest of the fight. To address this, we're refreshing her passive to offer a partial ultimate reset upon takedowns, so a well-played Ahri can capitalize on favorable situations to hunt down the entire enemy team. That sounds a lot more modern for a League of Legends champion. We've also redistributed her abilities' mana costs and early damage so each spell feels rewarding. To balance things out, we're slightly nerfing her burst damage and defensive stats. So, health growth is going down, her health total is going down, her base health regeneration is going down, and her armor is going down. There you go. Passive, though, updated. Killing minions or monsters grants Ahri essence fragments. After obtaining 9 essence fragments, Ahri consumes them to heal, so that's the same. When Ahri scores a takedown against enemy champions within 3 seconds of damaging them, she feasts upon their essence, healing for even more. That part might be new. I don't remember that part, but obviously the other part is when, like, the orb changes color and then you know she's got the heal available. I don't recognize the second part, so she's squishier in that avenue, but she also heals for a considerable amount after getting a kill. She basically has that talent. For some reason my mind's gone blank, but that talent that heals you, is it Triumph maybe? She's got that inbuilt now into her kit. Okay. Q, so your bread and butter, the Q that goes in and out. Damage base is the same, but it's more ability ratio, so better for late game scaling, 10% more ratio, and the mana cost has gone down in the early game, up in late game. Cool. W, Foxfire, damage has gone up base, stayed the same for scaling. Mana cost, however, has gone down. The flame duration has gone down. The bonus movement speed that you get when you activate it has gone up by half a second. And updated missile targeting and last hitting logic. What that means, even though they're not explaining it here, it's the same with other champions. Heat seeking is a priority system that it will be smart about who it's targeting. So like before, without having this, you'd press W in mid lane in a 1v1 and randomly your W would hit minions. And you're like, really? I want you to hit the enemy mid laner. Now with having heat seeking, it'll have a priority that the first target that it will hit, if it's in range, is enemy champions. Then it'll be minions that it can last hit, and then it will be random. So this is a really nice quality of life change for Ahri. That's fantastic. The charm, and this is, I had partial problem with this as well, that Ahri was completely and utterly useless if you didn't hit your charm, because your charm made you do bonus damage to that opponent by 20%. They've removed that. I do think that's good, because literally you'd be playing Ahri, and if you don't hit that charm, you're like, never mind, no point doing this play. So what they're doing is actually giving it more damage itself. So they're giving it higher base damage, and they're giving it 20% more ability power. So if you do hit it, you are being rewarded for that, because the ability itself is doing more damage. But it's not like, oh, your Q doesn't do any damage to now the enemy champion because you didn't land the E. They're buffing the Q by itself. So they're separating it, which I like, but obviously they're separating it. But if you do land the E, fantastic, that's amazing. And then the ultimate, initial duration of when you first press ultimate of it timing out is 15 seconds, up from 10. And then new, consuming a champion's essence with essence theft while Spirit Rush is active, extends Spirit Rush's recast duration up by and up to 10 seconds, and grants an additional cast to Spirit's Rush, up to 3 casts stored at a time. So again, if you press your ultimate, you have three casts of your ultimate, obviously, when you have Ahri ultimate. And what they're saying is, for an example, let's say you ult once and that kills an opponent. Because you've killed that opponent, your passive will then activate, which you're going to be consuming their essence, which is this part. You consume the essence, it'll reset the timer back up to 10 seconds, up to 10 seconds. But because you've gone down from 3 casts to 2 casts, because you've used a stack, that will actually go back up to 3. That is really good for Ahri. That is way more modern, and that, I'm not going to say that Ahri might be back, because we don't know. It's hard to say. Will she mesh with new items? Because it's been so long, really, until, you know, we've been able to play Ahri. And I do say this because, believe it or not, even though last year Ahri was pretty bad, Ahri was actually one of my highest played mages last year. Like, I didn't have crazy amount of gamers on her because you couldn't really play mages until the end of last season. But I had, like, I don't know, 15 to 20 games on Ahri, which isn't too bad considering I play a lot of champions. Obviously, if you guys haven't noticed, and maybe you have, I have condensed the champion pool considerably, and that is doing pretty well for the climb at the moment. She's also getting VFX and SFX updates. Akshan. Okay, so passive damage decreased. Akshan's been strong everywhere, especially in top lane, because again, it's a cheese pick, so kind of annoying to deal with. So we're hitting his early passive power to make his harass or melee enemies a bit less dirty. Okay, so bonus movement speed, cancelling the second shot is going down considerably in the early game, and the 3-stack bonus magic damage is also going down right in the early game. So just kind of making him less obnoxious in top, especially. Amumu. Base armor decreased. E-passive damage reduction now capped per instance. So armor's going down, so less tanky, I guess. I'm going to be honest, I haven't... Well, Amumu has been too strong in average play. That's what I was going to say. I've not really seen Amumu for quite a while, but since the new items this season, average play, I guess, is really still up the Amumu street, and that's why they're nerfing him. Okay. So the Tantrum is also getting reduced as well. So there's that. Brand, who I play obviously from time to time in support, and I do very well with the champion, so if he's getting a buff, this is fantastic. Quality of life changes. Okay, so Blaze It, which is his passive. Mana refund upon killing an enemy now occurs if Brand's ability last hits a target that was not already ablaze. Okay, that's going to be really nice for him, so he'll actually keep more mana, you know, throughout fights. And then his ultimate, Pyromania, is Pyroclasm's Fireball now prioritizes bouncing to nearby enemies before bouncing back to Brand at full range. Pyroclasm will still prioritize bouncing to enemy champions first. Okay, so what was happening, which, yeah, I've had this happen to me. Brand does have like a priority system, but since they added the ability, which is fantastic, that, you know, if you're in a pure 1v1, Brand kind of sucked because you cast your ultimate and it doesn't bounce. So what they added was it can bounce off Brand himself. So it would bounce to an enemy, then bounce back to Brand, and then bounce back to that same enemy. What was happening though is, let's say in bot lane you're playing support Brand, you could ult the enemy, a Draven, let's say, and it would hit the Draven, but then it will bounce back to you as Brand. But it actually could have bounced to the Lulu next to the Draven, but it didn't. It bounced back to you. So now they're just updating the priority target system that it will bounce to enemy champions over bouncing back to Brand. That's good. I like that. Caitlyn, AD growth decreased, Q damage reduced, so AD growth is going down. So again, she's pretty strong and a lot of pro play. I do kind of feel, though, I don't know about you guys, Jinx seems just to be the best AD carry at the moment. If you get a Jinx, just even in mid to late game, she's got her items complete, she has her runins, she's got her crit items, that champ is just nuts. So I don't know. I don't know if I can't remember. I don't think Jinx was in the nerf list, which is, I don't know, something. So attack damage also is going down. The Q damage against secondary enemies is going down, so which is a bit too consistent with poking multiple enemies at the same time. But they have fixed a bug where Caitlyn's ult would incorrectly get a cooldown refund if she was feared during its cast. Oh, so I think it should actually consume it should consume the ult if you're feared during your cast, but this was actually just resetting it. Oh, you get your ultimate back. Corki, again, very dominant with his new item build. I have someone in Twitch chat was saying, apparently, I haven't seen it myself, but apparently some casters on air, while they were casting League, were basically joking that Corki's build is really awful and bad for the game and stuff. It's a pretty annoying build, I will say. It's a bit anti-fun for the enemy team. And some people, though, will say it's actually quite interesting because it's using items that never go together in a way that works really well. Let me know what you think. But the package, I will say, is obnoxiously strong. And basically what it does, and I think I even said this in a video that I recorded today, potentially, is Corki, for a good Corki, they will always time their package with dragons. And that pretty much guarantees his team dragons. It's such a strong ability that does maybe way too much damage than it really should. It does more damage, it feels like, the Rumble ultimate. And it's like, ugh. So passive for Corki, the first package is at 10 minutes. So that's, again, just getting it away from the strength of the first dragon. So usually, first dragon is around 8 minutes. But now it might not be able to, use it on that one. And then the packages will not be every 4 minutes from now on. It will be every 5 minutes. So it is considerable nerfs, but they're not changing the damage of it. And that is pretty spicy. LeBlanc, don't see this champion pretty much at all. So LeBlanc has been too strong and too long. Oh, okay. Especially in Pro, where she's been popular for a while now. Again, I don't watch Pro play, so I don't even know if she's picked all the time. They're just reducing the base damage of her W from level 2 onwards. Nothing major, but it is a nerf. Lilia, our sleep duration increased early, so the sleep is going up from 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds, just giving her a little bit more strength at level 6, because she is a scaling champion, there's no doubt, but that's not bad. Lily is a very dangerous champion, by the way, so be careful of that. Nami, passive initial bonus movement speed increased and now decays over duration. E, on hit, base damage reduced. So this might be for the Nami Lucian lane kind of thing, potentially, because that is still pretty strong. But it's high tide for Nami adjustment. This should make the move speed boost on a passive much more noticeable, so you can stop taking your Enchanter's supports for granted. Just kidding, maybe. She's already pretty strong, so we're balancing out this slight buff with a small nerf to her E. Okay, so on hit damage per hit is going down a little bit in the early game. Oh, well, actually, it's just going down by 5 each rank. Still a same ability power, so just a little bit less damage in the early game, which, by the way, will affect like the Lucian Nami lane because they're all about the early game. Quinn, again, really weird to me that Quinn wasn't in the rework vote this year. I did have some weird conspiracy that I was like, oh, maybe she's not in the rework vote because she's getting a rework anyway. And that might still be true. I don't know. That would make sense to me. She's been in the last couple years of votes and she's never won, and she's never going to. She's not popular enough and she's not hated enough. Like, Tryndamere is probably going to win this vote because everybody hates Tryndamere. That's the thing. People don't hate Quinn because you never see Quinn. The only people that play Quinn are a very small group of people that main Quinn. And they probably don't want Quinn to change. So, yeah. Bonus attack speed that she gets is going up, and her damage, which is a big buff, by the way, the flurry damage, that is all the feathers and that goes around when you actually like jump on somebody with your R, is a 40% AD ratio. It's going up to a 70% AD ratio. Whew, but again, Quinn is always going to have that problem that Quinn, the moment that you pick Quinn, especially if she's a top laner, the moment that you pick Quinn top, you have given your team a disadvantage in comp. That's the problem with Quinn. She's fundamentally a forever cheese pick, if that's the best way to describe it. It's like having Akshan top in every game, but honestly a worse version of Akshan. Like, I don't know. We'll see. Senna, again, Riot did a stupid buff to Senna last patch, and that basically made Senna in every single game. Everybody knew it was a stupid buff, but apparently Riot didn't. The buff to Senna's Q last patch did make her support stronger as intended, but it also overwhelmingly increased her AD carry win rate, you think? I'll be honest, in, I don't know, the 20 Sennas that I've seen from last patch to this patch, I'd probably say 18 of them were AD carry Senna, and maybe 2 of them were support Senna. Our goal isn't to make AD carry Senna weak, but instead to bring her 2 roles closer together in strength. Before you grab a calculator, this rounds out to approximately 1 soul for every 6 minion waves. That's a lot slower ratio than what she is currently as AD carry Senna. So minions and lesser monsters that Senna kills herself used to have a 10% chance for a soul to drop. It's now a 2.77 recurring chance to spawn a missed wraith. So, yeah, this is a big nerf to AD carry Senna. Again, just reminding everybody, this is only for minions. She last hits herself. This is where like the funnel strategy for Senna came in a while ago, that she actively doesn't want to last hit things because that gives her less souls. And she scales amazingly well off just the souls themselves, not even items. So this is let's tone down the AD carry. No change, by the way, at all to support Senna. For support Senna, her intended role, this doesn't change that because she is not killing minions. So, yeah. Twisted Fate, I like this champion. I honestly think he's one of the best champs for solo queue pretty much that's ever existed. I'd love to play him. I actually think he fits my playstyle somewhat. Mainly a control mage, but does roam occasionally, and it's built for his kit to do that with his ultimate. I can't play him, though, and it's frustrating. I'm colorblind, and I can play him mechanically, and I can work out what colors his W is, but it takes me a while. Like, it's a delay. It could be a half a second delay more than an average person for my eyes to work out, is that the yellow card or is that the red card? It could be a half a second difference, and that's a half a second I cannot give the higher rating I go. If I was in an average rank and I wasn't that competitive, I would probably play Twisted Fate. But my goal is to get Master again this year. I cannot have a champion that's giving me a half a second delay every single time that I use W. This is where I urge Riot to actually have a proper colorblind mode or do something about Twisted Fate. Now, I know some people will be like, there are symbols on a lot of the above on the cards or something like that. I guess, but again, that still is a bit of a delay compared to just going, oh, red or yellow or whatever. Like, it's a delay, right? What I would say is just a bit of feedback. Like, red and yellow are quite a common colorblind colors together. They blur quite easily, or gold and red. Maybe they should just do an option, or even, it's going to sound bad, a free skin. Like, literally call it colorblind Twisted Fate. I don't know, but then it obviously doesn't work if you're against a Twisted Fate. But, like, something that just separates the colors even more. White, I think, is a very good one. White's very good for colorblind people. And just do that. If you had white, red, and blue, I'd be fine. It's just the yellow as a gold and the red card are just, it takes me a while to kind of go, oh, that's red or that's gold. it's just a bit too samey. And that's, again, if you're not colorblind in the way, you know, every person's colorblindness is different also, it's hard for me to describe it, but, like, that's the problem. But anyway, he's getting a lot of buffs, potentially, in a way. Nerfs? I don't know. What's happening? Twisted Fate seems to always have the right cards in pro play with his global power and consistency. See, we're cutting into his abilities-based stats, so he has to buy more AP to dish out damage instead of opting for his usual utility builds. Okay. So they're giving him more scaling with AP, but less base damage. So that does, again, make you go, if you want to do damage, you actually need to buy ability power, not a rapid fire cannon second item. And then your E, bonus attack speed, is going down considerably in the early game. Zeri, again, a new champion that obviously has a problematic kit, because every single new champion has a problematic kit. Just look at the one that I literally spoke about earlier today. Zeri, base movement speed reduced, fully charged basic attack damage decreased, and R, chain lightning decreased, and now can critically strike. So the Trinity Force build, the Bruiser build, if you will, has been very obnoxious. So it looks like they're doing is they are, what I've been told at least, they're trying to completely get rid of the ability power build and the Bruiser build, and they're just basically going to go play crit AD carry. That's what this champion's intended to be. Do that. We'll see. Because we do have a guy in our community, Shmion, who's a master-ish level player. He's obviously not been master yet. But he, you know, I know I'm going to say this, people are going to go, huh, but he's playing Zeri top lane quite a bit. I'm not a fan of it either. But he thinks that this is going to ruin Zeri top lane, apparently. So what is happening? Movement speed base is going down, so she can't kite as well. Full charge damage based on target's max health was 3 to 20% based on level. It's now 3 to 15, so a considerable 5% nerf for late game there. Lightning Crash is going down, only at rank 2 though. Oh no, rank 2 and 3, sorry, that's a 30 and it's now 20. Same ability power ratio, but this now can crit, which is, again, is encouraging you to build the crit AD carry build, because your own ultimate can also crit too. And then they're doing stuff here. So, oh, and also this is a big one. So the Runans on hit effect, that was a weird buggy mess that was like making her constantly have ultimate full stacks and everything. I think they fixed that a while ago, but yeah. But there's that. Items, so the fighter items, again, not going to get into detail with it, but in essence, what they're doing is they're taking health away and they're adding damage. The reason for doing that is right now in top lane or even jungle, there's a fighter class and all fighters basically feel the same. A Fiora feels the same as a Viego, that feels the same as an Alawi, that feels the same as a Darius, because they're all building the same items and they all are really tanky and do a lot of damage. In reality, something like a Viego, the examples that Riot gave, a Viego and a Master Yi are supposed to be glass cannon squishy champions that do a lot of damage but die very quick. Well, they don't. That's not really what's happening at the moment because of these items. Where, like, a Fiora, again, should die pretty quick but has that high damage, high risk, high reward playstyle that could work if she plays well. But again, that's not really happening. She's too tanky. So that's why they're doing it. So every item is basically just, as you can see, health is going down, but the damage is going up. They are doing something to this, though, that I do want to have a little look at. And by the way, yes, you've seen that correctly. The attack damage of Asterix Gauge is gone as a base, but you gain 40% of your base AD as a bonus AD, and that's your base AD instead. So that depends what type of champion you are. That might not be very good on new ones now. But the Death Stance, because this item was OP for a little while back. But anyway, stores 30% for melee, 10% for ranged of all types of post-mitigation damage received, not including true damage, which is successfully taken as true damage over 3 seconds now. Now also applies to damage on shields. The heal, so you heal for 175% of bonus AD if a champion dies within 3 seconds after you've dealt damage to them. Okay, so it's the dot effect again. So you don't take, it's not a lot. So 30% of the damage if you're a melee champion, only 10% of the damage if you're a ranged champion. Instead of taking that straight away as burst, you don't take it straight away and you take it as true damage for 3 seconds divided, over 3 seconds instead. But if you do kill an opponent, you're going to be healing for 175% bonus AD if champion dies within. So you are healing a lot too. And again, this item is not for a Darius. This item is not for an Alawi. Why? Because those champions do not buy a lot of AD items. This is bonus AD, not your base AD. Bonus AD is only the AD that you get from items that you're purchasing. Your bonus AD from items. So this is for a Master Yi who's buying some AD. This is for your Viego. This is for your Fiora, the squishier high AD champion who also is melee because there's a bigger effect for melee. Okay, interesting. And then finally, just again, because every single like champion of a certain type buys Sterix, 40% of your base AD is bonus AD. So again, this is not for your Viego, not for your Yi, not for your Fiora, because you're wanting the other item to basically, it's just separating these two items. If you buy a lot of AD, you buy Death's Dance. If you don't buy AD, you're a tanky Juggernaut, you still buy Sterix. That's what they're doing. And then after dealing damage to or taking damage from an enemy champion, heal for a portion of your maximum health over 6 seconds. That's gone. That is completely gone. And then the updated lifeline passes is if you take damage that would reduce you below 30% of your maximum health, gain a shield, that's changed, equal to 75% of bonus health that decays over 3.75 seconds. So once again, you will not buy this if, again, you're playing a light fighter squishy champion, because you're not buying any items that give you a lot of health. If you're playing Darius, though, you are buying some buying some items that give you health. If you're playing Alawi, you are buying some items that give you health. Spirit Visage gives health, you know? That's what they're doing. They are separating these two items into light fighter, squishy AD champion, Juggernaut AD champion. That is now the difference. Okay, so again, not everybody's buying the same thing, which is good. It's a bit of a breath of fresh air in a way. Again, I don't care too much about it. I do care, like when Riot said, the only time I would actually care about this is when a class of champion is disappearing because of items, or it's meshing. They're literally in top lane and jungle. The fighter class just merged into one class, when there is actually quite a lot of subclasses of fighter. There's Juggernaut, there's Bruiser, there's Light Fighter, Duelist. There's all these classes that basically felt the same over the last year and a bit because of the items. So this is good. Turbo Chemtank. Our changes to Turbo Chemtank in patch 12.2 were Band-Aid to bring the item back in line of dashy champions like Akali and Aurelia. While we're looking for better solutions, we're further adjusting its stacking mechanics to make Turbo better suited for tanking rather than for turbo charging at enemies. Emphasis on the tank, not the turbo. I do find it funny, like, this is where I would say that broken kits do kind of get into Riot's face a little bit and just prove broken kits are a big problem. Akali could buy a tank item and still one-shot you. Why? Akali's base damage without any items at level like 18 or whatever it is, she does over 2,000 damage in base damage. No items. That's ridiculous. Like, that is ludicrous how much damage it is. So that's why she can buy something like this. She's really tanky, you can't kill her anymore. She can run faster to engage on you, and she'll still one-shot you because she's also buying AP items after Chemtank. That's the point. It's crazy. So what are they doing? Updated. So gain 5 stacks per instance of damage taken by champions and large monsters, and 1 stack every 25 units travelled. Then refuel is at 100 stacks. Your next basic attack deals magic damage to all nearby enemies, increased by 30% against minions and 200% against monsters. Okay. I mean, in essence, what they're doing is, again, they're making it, you're getting more for traveling units, I guess. 1 stack. So yeah, 1 stack every 25. It used to be 1 stack every 15. Still capped up to 10 stacks for dashes and blinks. And yeah, okay, there you go. Okay, well, we'll see. We got a lot of bug fixes. We have Vel'Koz's VFX update, so his spells look better, and we have those upcoming skins. So there we go, everybody. Not a crazy big patch. You know, there are still quite a lot of strong things floating around that I just haven't been addressed yet. But I will say, the game, yes, it's still crazy high damage, but I would say, weirdly, like, the game does feel kind of healthy with the high damage. I don't like it. Like, I think the game would be better without the crazy damage. But, like, compared to last season, the game is feeling healthier. That's what I would say. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.